What's going on, everybody? You're listening to Back to the Future. This is the podcast where we talk about films and entertainment. My name is Joseph.
And I'm Edward.
I'm Ugo.
Everybody, welcoming Ugo back to the show. So Monday they released the Academy Award Oscar nominations, and our residential expert on
we do it every year
on all award shows and award winner himself, Emmy Award winner, NBD, no big deal.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to let Ugo take the reins and guide us through all the nominations. And Edward and I will give our input and whether we saw the film or not. So Ugo, take it away, baby.
And I will say, y'all have seen some of these films, I know for a fact. But you've actually done some episodes on them, so if anybody wants to check them out afterward, it might be a good idea.
Edward's favorite.
What was your favorite?
Which one?
I did Anya Taylor. Taylor.
Emma. And it's crazy that that's for this Oscars round. We saw that.
Yeah, it seems like 3 years ago.
But I guess because so in a quick little, rundown of how the Oscars are going to work this year, it is including movies that just ran virtually. They're honoring the fact that, a lot of movies weren't able to run in the theaters at all. Because typically for a movie to get nominated for an Oscar, it has to have a theater run of at least, I believe, 2 weeks. And it has to run in either New York or LA. Mm-hmm. And it also has to screen at a movie festival. Mm-hmm. So because of COVID and because a lot of things like that were changed, there was either, movies not being able to screen in some way or another. They ended up waiving a lot of those rules. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So a lot of movies that had run later in the year of 2019 still qualified, but because of COVID, they extended the date for 2020. And a lot more movies were able to be considered. And even this year, the Oscar ceremony is late. It's in late April, as opposed to usually it's like at the end of February, beginning of March. Like we would have already had the Oscars by now. But yeah, so because of that, a lot more movies were considered contenders. And and I think that's good because a lot of really good things came out this year, and it was only streaming.
Nice.
So yeah, I say let's jump right into it.
Let's dive in.
I got a quick question. Do you think this is gonna be how it's gonna be from now on? Like, there's gonna be more people involved as far as like people who get nominated and whatnot, and all the movies that can be nominated?
I think so. Excuse me. Oh my God, that was rude. I think that they're going to start to consider this as a reputable source of screening because talk about access. Like, it used to be that movies had to air or movies had to screen in certain areas just so the Academy could even get the chance to watch them, and now you can watch it from home with everybody else, and I think that's a really good option to have because that opens up to so many more filmmakers, so many more creators. Because again, you could, let's say Joseph created one of his, short films and it went viral. And then all of a sudden it's getting all this attention and he's getting messages from studios saying, hey, we want to, broadcast this for you. We want to, share it, whatever. That's exactly how it could happen with, so many more people, as opposed to you have to go the route of finding a studio, finding a PR agency to do it for you. And this is opening it up it's been changing in the last couple of years anyway. So yeah, I think that, this will change stuff. And if it doesn't, I hope it will be considered a change. So yeah, we'll see, because it's been interesting. But yeah, so let's start with the big one, Best Picture. So nominees: The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. I've seen, 5 of those movies. And there's how many nominated? 5, 8, I think.
8 total.
Or 1, 2, 3,
7.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. 3. I have to do the math. Yeah, it's been a long day.
I've seen 3.5 of those.
What was the half?
Oh, Mank.
You know, it's so funny enough, before the big blizzard here in Texas and everything went out, that was the last thing I saw before I lost power.
Oh, really?
I finished it. I enjoyed it. It was, I will admit, it was a bit of a pretentious movie in that if you're not a fan of film, specifically like film history, you will not really get this movie. It won't have the same kind of appeal. And if you haven't seen Citizen Kane, it really will not make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't bad, but yeah, I was like, that's too specific of a movie to really, make an impact on people. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I feel like it was a little too niche down. Even for me, you guys know me. I'm a cinephile, and I love Citizen Kane. I really do. I love Orson Welles. He's a very prolific filmmaker. But dude, man, it was just so fucking hard for me to sink my teeth into that movie, and I never finished it. I'm gonna eventually get around to it, especially now that it's been nominated. But I don't know what it really was about it that I just really couldn't get into it. So I don't know. Maybe now something's changed, and I'll finish it.
No, I didn't watch it because one, I never saw Citizen Kane, and two, it just didn't look appealing to me.
You don't you don't like blacks and white movies?
Sure.
Yeah, it stylistically it was cool. I think it'll win like production design and stuff like that, because it did look pretty cool, and it was it felt very much like they transported you to the 30s, and so it looked great, and it was also filmed and meant to sound like it was filmed on film, which it wasn't. So yeah, that was cute. It wasn't,
and it looked, it was also stylized to emulate like a film in that era.
Yeah,
and it
like
very much so did.
Like there were breaks in the film where like you'd see like a hot spot from when it's running things used to run on actual lamps, so a lot of film would get ruined. But anyway, so it was fine. Of all of those, who I think will win is Nomadland.
Did you see that?
I did watch Nomadland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it. Sorry, real quick. I just finished watching this video actually by the Ari camera company. They did like a quick behind the scenes for Nomadland, and because they use like Ari Alexa I think Ari Alexa cameras. But dude, their filming setup was really minimal. Like honestly, it looked like some shit that I did. Like it was literally like the camera guy, the director, a sound guy, and like maybe a producer. So it was like 4 people, and they're just like following around. Oh, what's her name?
Frances
McDormand. Yeah. They were following her around, and it was like, they said they had 2 cameras, and one they would use handheld, and then the other one it was on a steady cam gimbal. So they would they would just switch out. So when they wanted to do like the gimbal shots, they would use that, and then when they wanted handheld, they would just pick up the handheld. So I guess the production aspect of it kind of really piqued my interest into the film, and it looks beautiful because it looks like they shot a lot of it during golden hour and stuff like that.
They really did, and they used the advantage that they were filming in a lot of rural areas, so you had a lot more natural light. And I mean, that is like one of the best gifts you could ever get when you're filmmaking. Getting that natural light. I mean, there's no way that your film is gonna look bad.
The sun is the best light.
always. And people can emulate it, and there are great lighting designers out there that do a great job of making it look, I mean, nothing compares to the real thing, like at all. The shadows and
I was gonna say, Hugo, do you think you could be one of those people who just live in a van for the rest of their life?
I don't think so. Like
well, he's already stuck in his apartment and he's going crazy.
No shit. No shit. I mean, seriously, like even here, like the space that I have is not small by any means, but after a while you just kind of get so confined. Granted, of course, in this movie, this woman, the main character, has no, emotional ties or connections to anything.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. And when I watched the movie, I was like, that seems cool and adventurous, but it just seems very lonely.
Oh, so you watched it too, Edward?
Yeah, I saw it. It's on Hulu.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I really do recommend it. It was good. It was one of those that it built up in me after a while. When I first saw it, I was like, that was good. It didn't leave much of an impact, but the more that I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. And you start learning a lot of, little bit of tidbits, trivia about the movie. Again, like how you're saying, it was a really simple production setup. And just that kind of goes to show, with really good technology and somebody who's good at what they do, man, you've got a setup. You really do. It's helpful. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Edward, did you like the movie or no?
I did, but I wouldn't pick it to win movie of the year in my opinion.
Oh, did you watch it? Did you watch it because it was nominated, or?
That plus also whenever I turn on Hulu, it was like one of the main things that popped up, like watch this, and I had heard about it, and I saw people, talking about that they had seen it, and so I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. And I mean, it was good, but compared to some of the other ones that are on that list, I don't think it, in my opinion, I don't think it should win.
Best Picture. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What about you, Ugo? Did you watch it because it was nominated, or had you heard of it before?
I mean, it's been the buzz for months now, that this was going to be the movie to look out for award season. And I can see that. It was good. I think it will win, quite honestly, just because it's such an easy movie to watch. Like, it didn't really make you feel anything, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't feel like when I watched the trial of the Chicago 7, that was made in a way to make you feel something. And again, personally, I do really like that movie, and I think that like it does stand a chance. Oh my god, excuse me again. I haven't had beer in a while.
Sure.
I do think it stands a chance at winning. Personally, of that list of the ones that I've currently seen, y'all, I love The Sound of Metal.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Quite honest, like it was such a stunning, like. It was such a stunning example of a world that we don't really know a whole lot about, unless and y'all did a great job dissecting it in the podcast. So really, like, if anybody's listening to this, listen to that, because they did a good job of going through it. We'll touch on it again, here, because I will bring him up again when it comes to Best Actor. But my choice would have been Sound of Metal. I do think that it'll be Nomadland or The Trial of the Chicago 7.
What about Manaru? Have any of y'all seen that one yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it.
I saw it.
So I haven't. Oh, you saw it, Edward?
Yeah, I saw it. It's good, but I still think Sound of Metal is better than that one.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I did like Minari. I thought they did a good job. But the only reason I'm choosing Sound of Metal is because Ugo's probably going to talk about that guy's performance. But that was the first movie in a while that I actually felt really bad for the main character. Like I felt so bad for him.
In Sound of Metal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because hearing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good transition. Let's go to actor in a leading role. So nominees are Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Steven Yeun for Minari. Again, of those, I've seen 3 of them: Sound of Metal, Ma Rainey, and Mank. It's almost, they might as well start engraving it now. Chadwick Boseman is going to win. Like, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Do you think, does he deserve it, or do you think that they're just going to give it to him because he passed away?
And this is why I'm glad we're talking about this here. Did he give an Oscar-worthy performance? Absolutely. He did a great job. That is a good movie. I actually really enjoyed it a lot. It's a movie based off of a play, and you can tell because the 2 main characters have really long monologues a lot, and they're powerful, because it plays a lot with class, with race, with how people look at the music industry, and just how artists are used for their for what they can give, as instead of them, people respecting them as artists, and especially if you were Black at the time, or any person of color, because yeah, he did a really good job. I really enjoyed it a lot. It's no question that he's going to win, unless they give us a surprise winner like they did with Olivia Colman and Glenn Close. And even though it was Glenn Close, everybody was picking Glenn Close, but really Olivia Colman won. Yeah, there's almost no doubt he will win. However, I haven't seen The Father. Apparently, The Father is one of Anthony Hopkins' best roles to date. He plays a character who is developing dementia. And so the movie is stylized in a way that you're seeing it through the eyes of him, instead of, kind of looking from the outside. You're seeing things happen with him. For example, he's talking to his daughter, actually played by Olivia Colman. And then he turns away, he looks at her again, and it's a different actress in the movie. Like, it's a completely different person. And he's looking at her like, who's this? Like, this? And then he, has to like think again, and it changes back to Olivia Colman. So it's letting you know that he's even starting to forget things and little details all throughout the movie. I haven't seen it. I've seen some clips, but that sounds really, intriguing. And again, I've heard that he just does a wonderful job, as does she. But again, I have to give it to my man, Riz Ahmed. I would love to see him win for this. Why? Because when I watched this movie, it took me to a place that when a movie can do this for me, I know it's gold. I forgot that I was watching a movie when I was watching him. I got so invested in it, I actually forgot that I was watching a movie. I thought this person was, really going through this. And he is a person, an abled person, he can hear. And I asked a friend of mine, actually, the guy who I know that was in the There Will Be Blood, Russell. He is deaf in real life. And I asked him, have you seen this movie? And he said no. He was hesitant because he doesn't like when able people are playing somebody with a disability. And I told him, well, I think this might be a little bit of a difference because you see him going from hearing to non-hearing. So he has to at least, be able to portray that. Not to say that a hearing disabled person wouldn't be able to, but, I don't think he did a bad job. But again, that's me being fully hearing, so I can't, make a proper decision about that. But yeah, dude, he was fantastic in that role.
So did your friend eventually watch it?
I haven't asked him.
Oh, okay.
Probably not, but yeah, he would be my choice. I do, but it's Chadwick Boseman's. He's gonna win.
Yeah. I haven't seen the Ma Rainey one, so I can't really say too much about it, but I definitely do want to watch it now. It's
short. It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's easy to watch too. Like it's quick because again, it's a play, so it's kind of like stylized as such and filmed as such, and it's good. Like it doesn't really change scenes. It's all filmed in one like location. There are different things that happen all throughout, but yeah, it's good. I liked it, and I thought he was great, but I do kind of think it's a little bit of a Heath Ledger situation that from the get-go, this person was going to win. Not to say that they weren't deserving, not to say that he's not deserving. He did a great job. Please, people understand that. But I do think it's a little bit of a gimmick. And I don't like when these things happen, that they award somebody not based off of the performance, but just because they feel like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just my take on it. But, yeah.
I wonder, do you even remember who Heath Ledger was up against? I can't remember what movies were coming out that year.
Not off the top of my head. I don't know. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm just curious if it was like controversial, like, oh, he only won because he died, which I mean, a lot of people thought of, but I wonder what movies came out that he beat that, probably could have won also.
I legit don't even remember him winning winning the Oscar.
Because I mean, it was such a obvious thing that was gonna happen.
Right.
Well, I think it was supporting actor, right? It wasn't lead actor. It was supporting actor, right?
It was supporting. But that year it was. Oh, I remember who I wanted to win. So it was Heath Ledger in The Joker, Josh Brolin in Milk, Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, Philip Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, and Michael Shannon in Revolutionary Road. Which, if you've not seen that movie, is real intense. And Michael Shannon was super good in that movie. Like, I do remember watching that and being like, yeah, I think he should win. But again, Heath Ledger was good. It was, yeah. I think this might be a little bit of a different situation because Chadwick Boseman did a very, very like standout job, and he carried a lot of that movie. It's just, anyway. I don't want to get canceled. So Best Actress in a Leading Role, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day, The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby, Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand, Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. I have to say, I think this is the one that's a bit of a toss-up. I've heard huge praise for all of these ladies.
I'll just say real quick, the two performances I did see was Carey Mulligan and Vanessa Kirby, and dude, I freaking love I love both of the movies, but they're two very different films, two very different performances. Yeah, it'd be hard to pick. I would say though, I think Vanessa Kirby gets the edge because it's more of a dramatic piece, and dude, you just like really feel for her in that movie, and it's like almost like a roller coaster ride. You know, you go from, there's like a couple emotions when I was watching it, and I was like annoyed at her, I was angry at her, and then you become like very sympathetic towards her, and you feel for her, and there is this like long monologue scene too between like her and her mother because they have this big fight, and it was good, man. I like that movie for sure. But also, I really like Promising Young Woman. Like, I thought it was like really well made. I think it was like really interesting. It had a very good take on this like message of, you know, like that bro culture and, you know, guys raping women and all that stuff. So yeah, it was an interesting take, and I really like that movie too. But they're really different films, and it would be like, if it was up to me, it would be hard for me to pick. But if I had to, I would say Vanessa Kirby. But out of the two that I know, or that I've seen.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I haven't seen. I actually have to admit, I have not seen either one of those movies. I didn't get a chance to see Promising Young Woman, even though I've been wanting to see it.
It's good.
Me too.
But Pieces of a Woman, I just haven't brought myself to watch it because apparently it's a super downer, and I want to prepare myself for that, and I haven't been in that kind of a mood lately. But this one film critic that I follow, he loved it, and he's like, "That's my pick. I wish she would win all the awards because she just did such a good job." Blah blah blah. I think the popular vote might be Carey Mulligan and Promising Young Woman. Just because, I mean, it was because of the entire like idea of the Me Too movement and rape culture, and she did a good job, you know. But I haven't seen it. So, have you seen any, Edward?
No, I wanted to see Promising Young Woman. I remember that was one of the last movies when it actually going to the movies that I saw a trailer, and I was like, oh, I want to see that, but just never got to. Either that or it kept getting pushed out. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know Viola Davis was really good as Ma Rainey. She did a thing that I personally don't like when they do this in movies. She was cast in a singing role, and she did not sing her own stuff. It is a really difficult, you know, style of music, but that wasn't like the main point of the film. It was, you know, her long monologues, and they were really good. But yeah,
I feel like Viola Davis gets nominated like every year,
right? And if Frances McDormand were to win this one, that would be a big deal because she's won 2 Oscars. For Fargo and for three billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. But she did a good job in this movie. But was it like, that? Did she carry the whole thing, or was it that like impressive? I wouldn't say so. She did a great job though, but yeah. So it was good. So yeah, I think the will win would be Carey Mulligan. I haven't seen it, but I would say should win would be Vanessa Kirby, just because I've seen enough critiques that she has like the best overall like average of praise. But
I didn't even know she was British.
So fun fact
or something, right?
Yeah, she's British. She was in The Crown, the first and second season of The Crown. She played Princess Margaret. Promising Young Woman was written by Emerald Fennell, I believe is her name, who currently plays Camilla in this season of The Crown. Camilla is Prince Charles's current wife, famously known as the woman that he had been cheating on Diana with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, she wrote this film and she directed it too. She's nominated for Best Director, and I had no idea until I was watching the Golden Globes, and I was like, what the hell is she doing there? And I'm like, oh my god, she wrote and directed this movie. What the fuck? That's super cool. So yeah, there's a little bit of the Crown connection there. Yeah. Let's go to directing then. Nominations for directing. Another round. Is that the person's name is underneath. Sorry. Thomas. Fuck, I cannot see that. Vitterberg. David Fincher for Mank. Lee Isaac Chung and Minari. Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. I think also this one's kind of like set. It's probably going to be Chloe Zhao. She's been getting a lot of praise for the directing style of this movie. And I agree. I think it was really good. One thing I didn't know was that they filmed a lot of this on location in these different spots, but a lot of the cast members were actual like nomads. They're people who really live that life. Like some of the characters that they give really long, talks about their life out on the road and stuff, they were legit just talking.
Damn.
They were just talking about their life, and some of those parts were like, to me, some of the best parts of the movie, and their interactions were good. And so that is kind of a intimidating and risky thing to do when you're filming something, because you're relying on pure improvisation, and that's not always the smartest thing to do, because you may get to the editing room and you're like, well, this is what we have and that's it. So that does take a pretty good sense of direction. So I applaud her for that.
Yeah. And that's for Nomadland?
For Nomadland.
That's pretty interesting, man. That kind of like turns me on in the movie even more, because it kind of harks back to those like neo-realist days where they would do shit like that because they didn't have budgets to like shut down stores and stuff like that. So they would just tell the actor, hey, go in here and order something or whatever, and then they would just follow him with the camera, and catch like real interactions and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I respect that style. I like that. I wonder
it's risky, but
yeah, I wonder what the budget was on that film.
That's a good question. I wouldn't assume it's a lot, to be quite honest.
Right. Because it seemed very minimal.
I'm surprised they let cameras inside Amazon. Because usually you're not supposed to, but I guess since they're like a movie company, they're like, oh yeah, shoot whatever you want.
Oh, they filmed in the Amazon place?
Yeah, because that's like where she starts off. She's like working at Amazon, and then because Amazon, they get busy seasons like Christmas and whatnot. So once that's over, she moves on to like another place.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm sure it was some kind of a deal they worked out. Like, hey, we're pretty much giving you, not like they need it, but giving you free promotion. I'm actually kind of surprised that Aaron Sorkin wasn't nominated.
What did he write? The Trial of the Chicago 7.
He wrote and directed it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he wasn't nominated, and because it was really good. I thought it was a great movie, but so
let's go to the writers then.
So for writing, where is it? I have it here. Adapted screenplay.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. So did you have a pick for director?
Chloe Zhao. I agree. That one is
she did Nomadland.
She did Nomadland.
Okay. Yeah. Edward, do you have one or no?
No, I'll just go with Nomadland because that's, I think, out of that list, besides Minari, that's the only one I saw.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like
But
a
I would
piece
go
of
with that.
I'm an asshole. I haven't seen any of them.
Hey, dude, we get busy. I haven't seen. I need to add a lot of these to my queue because I need to watch these.
Yeah.
So yeah, adapted screenplay. Borat. I'm not gonna read the whole name because it's a very long name. And there's a bunch of writers in that. The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger.
One Night in Miami. What's that about?
So that's about with
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it. No, you go for it.
I saw that one. That's on Amazon Prime. It's when Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and I forgot the other one. They all come together in this hotel room in Miami. Malcolm X is just kind of telling them, like, we need to use our voices and this platform we have to, say what needs to be said about our, the Black people.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. Now was it compared to like the movies that are in the best movie category? No. But I mean, it was good, and I know Regina King. I think either she directed it or wrote it or something.
She directed it, yeah.
And it's an adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Was it based off a novel or?
I think it's based off a novel. It's a fictionalized, story of these people meeting together. Because to my knowledge, I don't think that ever happened. That they were all together in one place in a hotel room.
Oh, okay.
But it's the night that Muhammad Ali is gonna fight, and that's kind of like what it's all leading up to.
Who's he fighting? What's the fight? Do you remember or no?
Joe Frazier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Jim Brown is actually the other one.
I think that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I've heard it's a really good movie. I think even one of them is nominated for supporting actor. But yeah, I think this one's an easy. It's probably gonna be well, I wouldn't say easy because surprisingly enough, critics really liked Borat. It was funny. I didn't think it was bad. Like I thought it was a fun movie. Obviously very politically charged.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. I do think it probably be Nomadland, to be honest. Just because it has a lot of push behind it anyway. So more than likely it'll
and who wrote that one?
Chloe Zhao.
Oh, cool. So she wrote and directed.
She might be another Bong Joon-ho, like with Parasite.
Yeah.
She might sweep.
Oh man, I went and I recently watched his movies. Memories. No, not Memories of Murder. Mother. He actually made a movie called Mother before the Darren Aronofsky one. Dude, It is really good. Like,
where'd you watch it?
What was it on?
Send me the link.
It's on one of those free. It's not the illegal one, but it's like a free streaming, like Peacock or Tubi or something like that. Yeah. So I had commercial breaks, but it was really good. Yeah, I would highly recommend watching it, man.
He's really like well revered in the film world, so makes sense.
But yeah, sorry to get off topic. Real quick, I want to ask about the Chloe Zhao. So, do you think she's going to be getting more push because now, all these attacks on Asian people, and now this, stop hate on the Asian communities, this kind of little movements popping up. Do you think that's going to affect maybe the nomination in her favor? Not to say that not to say that all this bad stuff is a positive thing, but
no, yeah, that's a fair question. I mean, it's kind of the similar, way we think of it, which had with Boseman. Yeah, I think it might help, but the thing is there's been a lot of push and promotion for this movie for a while now that I don't think it was going to change much of anything.
Or do you think people will say that? Do you think if she wins, do you think people will take away from her because they're saying, oh, this political climate, and they only gave it to her because for whatever. Well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair criticism. It's not fair criticism, but it is probable criticism because they did that with Parasite, right? People got up in arms when they won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't even know why I asked the question now that I think about it. I'm sure some right-wing dipshit news outlet will say something like that.
Somebody from Lockhart's gonna post about it.
Somebody from where?
Hey, where'd you get that? Where the heck is Lockhart? Where'd you find that?
We have less than a minute, by the way. Yeah.
My friend Amy gave it to me. She's from you know Amy. She's from Lockhart too.
Yeah.
All right. So original screenplays. Ugo, who do we got?
We got Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, Trial of the Chicago 7. I think
Aaron Sorkin did get nominated.
Yeah, he did, but he just didn't get nominated for Best Director.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I really honestly was kind of surprising to me. I'm not mad at it, but I was really surprised. Because I don't know that other movie, Another Round. I know that it's one of those that it's nominated for international film, and it got a lot of praise like at Cannes and stuff like that. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But I thought, Aaron Sorkin's more of like a household name here in the US, so he would have been nominated, but I mean, he's still nominated.
He was 50 years old when he directed his first movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Chloe Zhao's only ever done like 2 movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why that's the big like push about her, the big like, buzz around her is that she hasn't been around for very long, and she's already not only nominated for an Oscar, she's probably likely going to win. And it's just kind of like giving hope to, to people like that. Yeah, a lot of people can do it. And because I think Nomadland's her 3rd movie, and then she's doing The Eternals. Is that what it's called?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
she directed that?
She's directing that. Yeah. Or I guess, is it already?
I think it's finished. Yeah.
The superheroes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. That's the big like buzz around her, is that she's only done very few things, but it's been impactful enough that they're like, hey, she's really good. So anyway, I think the one that is a safe choice to win would be the Trial of the Chicago 7. It's merited. It's really good. Aaron Sorkin is a great writer. I have to say, I think the Promising Young Woman might also be a contender and may even win. There's a lot of buzz around Emerald Fennell, and if I'm not mistaken, I think she won like the Writing Guild Award, and she's won a bunch of other stuff too already. She won the Golden Globe. So she's been on a winning streak in that sense. So she may even have this one coming her way as well. Which I really want to see it. I may even rent it tonight.
There's a lot of women being included in these nominations, where it's directors and writers and adapted screenplays and stuff like that, where in the past it hasn't been so many, right?
Yeah, and I mean that's just the fault of the industry in general. They never really gave women a shot to take it on their own, just because for some reason there's still this idea that women are a niche market, and they're not going to make enough money, and ultimately this is a business. But in reality, they're some of like the strongest and best like elements of the industry, you know. So yeah, it's cool.
No, that is cool. That's good, man. I think more inclusion is definitely a better thing, because I'm a big fan of hearing stories written from the perspective of different people, of races and genders, and I think it's important to have a mixture of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, what was that category?
Original screenplay.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, out of all those, I really enjoyed Judas and the Black Messiah. I don't know if you got to see that one.
No, I had put it on my queue for the longest time, and then I'm like, I'll watch it today, and like, oh cool, it got taken off HBO.
Yeah.
Damn, Edward, where you been watching these movies, man?
Shit.
Thanks for the invite. They're on HBO Max.
No,
thanks for the invite.
No invite?
Oh, you can come.
Yeah, I can.
This guy got the COVID vaccine, and he's too good for everybody now.
Yeah, I've had the first one, so.
Oh, you did too?
When I get this,
I need to get it.
I've never been. Huh?
How did you get it?
I was about to say, I've never been so happy to be overweight. By medical standards in the US, I am obese.
You fucking liar, dude.
I qualified under 1B.
It's all cock weight.
It's a medical condition. It's all this ass. Shit, what can I do?
Thick
What
with
can I
two
say?
C's.
Yeah, thick.
No, that's cool,
So,
man. Good.
yeah, I
Good.
did qualify, and I will say the process to get it was a bitch. Like, that's pretty messed up. Like, imagine all these elderly people who don't have access to a computer that just will not understand the way to get through it, and they're not technologically literate, and yeah, it was a mess for me.
Man.
And
Yeah.
anyway, but now it's gonna open up to everybody, so I hope they're gonna do more drive-through, vaccines, and anyway. So,
Hey, real quick, how did you feel after you got yours?
I was fine. I was a little sore the next day. I got it on a Wednesday, but that Saturday I was so fatigued. I was tired all day long. Like, I didn't have energy for anything, and I had a little bit of a fever that night. I could feel. I was oh yeah, I'm warm. Like, I definitely know it's a little hotter in here than it typically is. So, but I mean, it went away.
Yeah, it does.
I get my second one, I think, next week. So
cool.
Yeah. So after that, back to the whole life.
Damn.
Orgies happening at my place.
Yeah, right. It never stopped.
Y'all will get personal invites.
Who you fooling, Hugo?
No, you should see me right now. It's tight. It was tight.
Oh, damn. All right, next subject. What do we?
Film editing. We have The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, Trial of the Chicago 7. So of those, I've seen 3. I definitely think it'll either go to Nomadland or Sound of Metal, in my opinion. For the mere fact that Chloe Zhao is once again nominated in this category. She's the sole editor of this film, which I think is outstanding.
Oh my god, dude. She's a fucking filmmaker after my own heart.
Dude, her exactly what her, Alfonso Cuarón, John Bong Joon-ho, I hope I'm butchering.
No, you're saying it right, Bong Joon-ho, yeah.
They all are so involved like that. Iñárritu, they do the same thing. They're involved from like every one of those steps, including editing. And I've always thought, like, man, I know if I ever make it to a point where I want to make a feature film like this, I would feel so awkward letting somebody else edit this. Not to say that I don't trust anybody. Like, if you were like, oh, I want to edit this for you, I'd be like, I trust you. But imagine passing that off to just the studio and they're like, oh, we'll do it.
Oh, dude, it'd be so cool if she won for all 3, everything she was nominated for, editing, writing, and fucking directing. That'd be badass.
And again, it would be merited. It was wonderfully put together.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I want to say real quick. So I was really recently watching this episode of the show Chef, not the movie, but the show on Netflix. It's based off the movie. It's got Jon Favreau, and he goes around cooking. And so there's an episode, and he's talking about when he came to Austin, and he shoots an episode with Robert Rodriguez, but they don't show him talking about it, and he talks about it later on. And he said that Robert Rodriguez told him, like, dude, you got to edit your own stuff. Like, you spend all this time filming it, and it's like cooking. When you're cooking, you're putting all the ingredients together. Or no, how did he use the analogy? Filming it is like getting buying all the ingredients when you film it, and then the editing is the cooking when you're mixing and cooking all the ingredients. And so Jon Favreau said he took his advice, and he's not credited as the editor, but he said he would edit scenes and segments of I think he said like Jungle Book or whatever, one of those big movies he directed. He said that he started incorporating that into his filmmaking process, where he would start putting stuff together before it actually went to the editing cool. Real editor. So yeah, I love editing, man. Like, that is one of my favorite things to do. It's cool to it's cool to see how things come together, and how you can manipulate them and change scenes and dialogue and moods and stuff like that. So anyways, tangent.
No, I agree. And I think that's why, like, if this were to win, I'd completely be cool with it. But I also loved how the Sound of Metal was. I keep calling it the Sound of Metal. It's just Sound of Metal. like at The Sound of Music. Like the way that movie was also put together really worked, and I feel like half the time editing makes or breaks how continuously understandable a story can be. A great script is obviously really important. It's all it's all important, right?
Yeah.
But the actual layout of how they're putting this film together, it was really good in The Sound of Music. Oh my god, Sound of Metal. And I really enjoyed it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nomadland won.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say
Yeah.
that the second director is the editor, because that's where the film is assembled and actually, created.
Mhm.
Let's we were just talking about Justice League, for example. You have Josh Whedon's version, and then you have Zack Snyder's version, and you get two totally different movies that some people enjoy much more because it was edited and filmed a certain way. So
That's a fantastic reference.
Mhm.
They're basically two different movies,
Mhm.
and yes, the ultimate ending was the same, but the way you got there was completely different. And
Right.
again, I love to appreciate that about film. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that might be another toss up that we won't be able to see, because again, even the Trial of the Chicago 7 was a really good, well put together movie. Like it,
Excellent film.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Excellent
was.
edited film.
It was an easy story to follow, and it helped because of the editing. So
And it was entertaining too.
it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually have not seen like a lot of I've only seen two for best animated feature film. So even though this is another one that it's pretty set who's gonna win. So nominees are Onward, Over the Moon, a Shaun of the Sheep movie, Farmageddon. No idea where that was, but cool. Soul and Wolfwalkers.
Hmm.
Um, Apparently Wolfwalkers is really good. I haven't seen it. It's on Apple TV.
What's it called?
Wolfwalkers.
Oh,
I know it's
Wolf
about the
Walkers.
yeah.
Okay.
What did you hear?
Wolf fuckers.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That's what I was like. What?
Wolfwalkers. No, it's about these like little kids that are part of a tribe or something like that in Scotland, I believe, that they can turn into wolves. And it's supposed to be really
Okay.
good. I haven't seen it, but it's supposed to be cute. But
Interesting.
And
yeah,
what's supposed to win?
Soul. Like, there's no question that Soul's gonna win.
Is it good? You've seen it? I haven't seen it.
It was nice. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't like
you think it's better than Onward?
Yes, I think it's better than Onward. It wasn't. I think it was kind of trying to get the same emotional feelings as Inside Out. It didn't, but there was a moment in that movie that I got a little choked up, that I was like, oh yeah, that was it. That was a good moment. But it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it a lot. So I think if it were to win, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised. Did y'all watch it?
Out of all those, the only one I saw was Onward.
Yeah, Onward was good, but yeah, Soul it's I mean, yes, a little kid could appreciate it because there's parts of it that are silly, but as an adult, you really like get it. It's kind of dealing with like literally the meaning of life, and the way that they get there, it's done comedically, and you kind of like you empathize a lot. You're seeing stuff that you're like, well, damn, like that's happened to me. Like I've questioned that, or I've gone through that, and yeah, it was really good, and has an awesome message at the end. So yeah, I'd check it out, and yeah, I think it's gonna win. Yeah. So now the two we have left are the supporting acting roles. So actress in a supporting role: Maria Bakalova in Borat, Glenn Close in Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman in The Father, Amanda Seyfried in Mank, and Yoo Jung Yoon in Minari.
I just want the chick from Borat.
Quite honestly, I think she's the leading contender.
For real?
Yes. because she's gotten a lot of praise. She was hilarious in the movie too.
Yeah,
So
she was great. Yeah.
I feel like more so than Borat, she kind of carried the movie. Like I was
Mhm.
only looking forward to hearing her be on screen. And yeah, like I want to say I think she's the one to beat. I haven't seen The Father, but apparently Olivia Colman was super good in it. The only reason I don't think she'll win is because she just won an Oscar not too long ago. Amanda Seyfried and Mank, whatever. Like she was fine. It wasn't bad, but she was barely in the movie. Like if you were like, "Oh, did you see Amanda Seyfried and Mank?" and be like, "What are you talking about?" And oh yeah, she was in the movie. I haven't seen Minari, so I can't make a. Do you know who that lady is?
I've never heard of her.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the wife or the grandma. So
I think
I'm
it's
not
a
sure.
grandma. I think it's an older lady.
Oh, I love old ladies.
I know.
She was good. She was good, but she didn't have that many lines, to be honest. You know what? I don't know if you guys know this, but that's the only reason they weren't nominated for Best Movie at the Golden Globes, because I guess you have to have over 50% of the movie in English for it to be considered for Best Movie. I didn't know that, and the majority of it is like in Korean, I guess.
Even though it's
That was
from an
interesting.
American director or an American writer and
distributed by Americans.
And the Golden Globe is the Hollywood Foreign Press. So it's literally like press members from other countries.
That's insane.
Yeah, go figure. Funny enough, a little bit of trivia. Glenn Close is somehow nominated for a Hillbilly Elegy, even though he got super panned by the critics. It was not very good. To the point, she's actually nominated for the Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress. In the same year, she's nominated for the same role as Best Actress.
Is that a first time?
I don't know if that's a first time, but that has not happened often.
Yeah.
Typically, it's been like there have been other times where an actor or actress is nominated in the same year that they're nominated for an Oscar, but for different movies. Like, for example, the same year that Sandra Bullock won her Oscar, she was nominated for Worst Actress in The Proposal. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she showed up and she accepted it and stuff. And like, it was a bit, I mean, it's for fun, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's weird. I think it's a little bit of Damage Control, even though I don't think she's gonna win. Like,
I wonder
if she deserves to win.
I wonder how that happened. I bet you a lot of those like members who vote who didn't even see her performance were just like, "Oh, Glenn Close, I know her. Check.
Exactly.
Let's get her in the nomination box."
Yeah.
I didn't think that movie was bad. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't care to watch it.
It wasn't bad.
I've never heard of it.
The trailer was the most movie trailer ever. Like it was, I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what this movie's about. I know what's gonna happen. I can tell you the ending right now. Like, I don't need to see this. Maybe I'll watch it if I'm bored, but it's not on the top of my list.
I got you.
Yeah. But did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have no issues with it.
Was she
good? I was just yeah, because she plays the grandma. So I guess she was from what I remember, it's kind of sad, kind of funny type of movie. But I was just surprised that the guy that the movie portrays, he's not that old, and I guess he went and wrote like an autobiography about himself, and they made a movie about it. I don't think he's that old, to be honest with you.
Don't know. But yeah, I think Ms. Borat is the one to beat. So
I think
that would be really cool. Because I even think she's like, what the fuck is everybody's problem? Like, why are you loving me in this movie? Like, because she's been getting all kinds of awards.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Because she was good. Like, thoroughly did a good job. I was entertained, and she captivated me enough to like the movie. So
what if in her acceptance speech she's all, "Thank you, Rudy Giuliani"?
She should. Yeah, thank you for trying to. Nope, we're not gonna do that. So last one I have here, actor in a supporting role. Sacha Baron Cohen, Trial of the Chicago 7. Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah. Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. Paul Raci, Sound of Metal. And Lakeith Stanfield in Judas and the Black Messiah. There's a little bit of controversy with this one because I've not seen the movie, but apparently one of those is the main character. And
yeah, for which one? For Judas and the Black Messiah?
yeah, apparently that guy, that Lakeith Stanfield, he was in
Lakeith,
Lakeith,
right?
Yeah.
how do you pronounce it? Lakeith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lakeith
Lakeith.
Stanfield.
I was reading it.
He's the one from, or
He's
they're
in
both
Get
in
Out.
Get Out. They're both in Get Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but I was gonna say he's the one in Get Out that he's the
He says Get Out,
They
right?
take the photo of him.
post hypnotized. Yeah. They take the
Yeah.
photo.
He's
Yeah,
like,
but
Get
yeah,
Out.
they're both in Get Out. But apparently he's the main character.
Oh, I want to say the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Dude, I had no idea that guy was British or whatever. He's like,
Mhm.
I had no idea. I
Yeah.
thought he was American this whole time.
Yeah,
British.
I just found that out right now from you.
Riz Ahmed is also British.
Oh yeah, I knew he was. Yeah. But I heard that guy talking in some interview, and he had an accent, and I was like, I had never heard that before, and I was like, oh my god, like, dude, I always thought he was American or something.
Like John Boyega too, when he's in Star Wars and he has an American accent for some reason.
Oh yeah.
And then you hear him speak, and you're like, oh, you're like hella British. Like, you're like you have the Adele accent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of think this is a little bit of a toss-up. I thought the guy from Sound of Metal did a great job. You know, he's actually
which one is that? Is that the teacher?
Sure. That he actually can sign. You know, like he has. I think both of his parents are deaf.
Yeah.
He did a good job in it. I haven't seen Judas and the Black Messiah, but I know that Daniel Kaluuya is like up there. That he's supposed to be really good in it. Quite honestly, my choice would be Sacha Baron Cohen. I thought he was so good in Trial of the Chicago 7. Like, it was a perfect mix of comedic, but really like good dramatic acting. Like, he wasn't overly dramatic. He wasn't cheesy Borat comedic. He proved his range. And I think that's impressive, and that deserves to be, you know, merited. So I would love if he were to win, to be honest. And I think he has a good chance. Yeah, it just depends on. I haven't seen the Judas and the Black Messiah, so.
It's hard to like make a call, but yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think he did a great job too. And we discussed it in the other podcasts.
Edward, you have seen both of those, right?
Yeah, well, now that I know that Lakeith is nominated, he's gonna win. I'd be surprised if he doesn't win. Yeah, well, because I really did think he was the main character, and he did a great job. And now that you're saying he's supporting actor, I'm like, how do you have
that's
two main
controversy?
Guys?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So who was the main character in the movie then?
I would say Lakeith Stanfield was the main because that's who it revolves around.
Apparently, like, even he was surprised that he got nominated for supporting actor.
Yeah, I would take that award though. Fuck it.
Yeah, because I mean he's only been around for what, not even a decade, and that dude got range.
Yeah, he's definitely stacked up some performances, and he's created a lot of buzz in a lot of the movies and TV shows he's been in. So
yeah, I want to see it.
Is that the end of the list, Hugo?
Yeah, those are the main, because then the other ones, it's like sound design and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
Animated short film, documentary, all that, you know.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to talk about the documentary one. So this YouTuber's name is Casey Neistat. His brother started YouTubing, and he made a video kind of promoting his friend, the director of this documentary called Time, that's not actually nominated for best documentary or whatever.
Yeah.
The filmmaker's name is her name is Garrett Bradley, and I guess essentially it sounds like a really good documentary. I want to watch it. It's called Time. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's about a guy who's serving a 60-year prison sentence for robbery, and his wife is kind of like campaigning to get him released because it was just committed. I mean, all it says in the review is like committed in the early 90s in a moment of desperation. So it sounds like it's something that, like a crime now, that you probably get like 10 to 20 years or something, as opposed to like 60 years. And I don't know the details, but it sounds like it wasn't like a big big punishable offense, and he's a black
Mm.
guy, so it looks like they threw the book at him. So I just
Mm.
wanted to bring that up. Time, it looks really interesting. It's nominated for best documentary, and I want to watch it.
So that one's also nominated against My Octopus Teacher.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie,
So
man. Oh,
you'll have
so
to
heartbreaking.
watch it, and it's another one that I'm like, I know it's gonna be sad. I don't
Yeah.
want to be sad. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, even though I watched the trial of Chicago 7, I'm like, I'm not mad, I'm not sad, I'm just extremely pissed off. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get around to watching those. I know I will.
Yeah, My Octopus Teacher is really good. I like that movie.
Yeah.
So it is sad, but it's good.
You'll have to watch Time and let us know what would be your pick.
Yeah, let's watch it. Let's do an episode on it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Lug it. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody who's listening. I hope y'all got some insight. Let us know whether you agree or disagree with our decisions, and if you've seen all the movies. Yeah, appreciate it. Any final thoughts, guys?
No.
God,
nice, easy way to sum it up. One thing the Oscars did, I think they announced it today. Today's the 24th. Yeah, 24th. They will not be doing a virtual show. Like, they're not going to do like Zoom and stuff like that. Yeah, so they're kind of under a little bit of criticism because some people are still choosing to be socially distant, as they very well deserve to be if they're not comfortable. But for the Oscars not to allow some kind of an option like that, yeah, that's a little weird. I'm assuming they're gonna go ahead and like change that, but I don't know.
It might be masked up. I don't know. Yeah, I heard that. You know what it was, to be honest? The Emmys, was it the Emmys, right? Their ratings were terrible. Or the Golden Globes? Is the Golden?
Yeah, the Golden Globes
bad.
Right? But also, it was a messy show. It didn't look good. Honestly, I didn't watch the Grammys, but I saw that they at least did it kind of better.
Right.
But my assumption, at least, my ignorance, right, is that they're probably telling some studios like, hey, Taylor Swift should be there that night. That's all I'm going to tell you. Like, she definitely should be in the audience that night. Same with Beyonce. She I know she doesn't want to perform. She should definitely be there. Kind of like, win something, so they better at least be there. So yeah, I'm assuming that it's gonna be, they're gonna change some option, but as of right now, it's not. No live stream.
I mean, they have a packed house. I mean, at least do the people who are nominated, right?
I would think it's just people who are nominated.
Right. That's what I would say.
No
agents, no friends, no family, no spouse. Just like, if you're nominated,
you might get a +1 if you're a celebrity. But if you're nominated, like, let's say, us three were nominated for an award, it's like, it's just y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Best short documentary, Back to the Future, the making of a podcast.
Right. Yeah.
It's all accepting on behalf of Back to the Future. It's all he goes out there. He's all
no, accepting on behalf of Back to the Future is Oliver.
I don't want him to get COVID.
In a little more time.
It's Yaya smoking a joint. All right, guys. All right, guys. Well, Edward, if you don't have anything to say, I'm gonna go ahead and end this bad boy.
No, it's good to see you back, Hugo.
Likewise. Glad to be here.
Vessels. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we look forward to next week when we take you back to the future. Bye.
Bye. Get vaccinated.